Hey, this is Jessica, and I'm with the goldfish. There's Goldie and Callie. I'm sure you can tell which one's which. I'm just gonna be showing like all my supplies that I have for my aquariums, which is goldfish and bettas. But I'm just showing the goldfish because I haven't made a video with them in a long time. This is the bucket I use to do my water changes. Like I use a dirtier bucket that's that I pour the dirty water out of, siphon it out of, and this I use for the clean water that I'm putting back in. Here's my siphon. This is what a siphon looks like. This vacuums up the dirt in your substrate. Unless you have sand, you can't really go down, it'll suck up the sand. So what you want to do is you want to go on top of it lightly. That's my siphon. I have a siphon start, which is down here. It makes starting the siphon so much easier. There it is. You just attach the end of the hose here, right there, that end, to this, and just squeeze, and it starts sucking, so it starts the siphon. I have this algae scrubber, which is on a handle, which I do use for the goldfish. I don't really have an algae problem, at least not yet, knock on wood, with the bettas, but I do have a lot of algae in this tank here. Don't think you can see it. Well, that mark that's being picked up in the back by the intake of the filter, that's algae. There's a whole bunch of algae on top. This rock was covered in algae. I actually scrubbed it down yesterday. I did a water change yesterday and I forgot to scrub the tank down to get that algae off until after I did the water change, and you're not really supposed to scrub the glass with these scrubbers, like on dry glass. You're supposed to use it wet. So I'm going to have to do a good scrub down to the whole tank next time I do a water change. I think there's even like, that's algae on this plant. Unfortunately, there's not much I can do about that. Goldfish has been eating. The goldfish have been eating it. Goldfish like algae. It's not something that is bad for your fish. So it just doesn't look good. And I also have this algae pad that I use manually. I have my net, which I think is a bit small. I bought this. This is like the first net I bought. It's a little small. It would need a bigger one. I don't use it for the bettas though, because nets aren't really good for bettas' long fins. I kept one of their cups for that. I have a clean toothbrush. This is for the aquarium now. This is what I use to scrub the rock off of the algae. Or if you have anything that's slimy, like the ornament in the betta, that one gets slimy, I scrub it with this. I also have this, which is awesome to clean the filter out, like the intake tube. And all those things you can't get at. So that would be all the gizmos that I have. And I do have the freshwater master test kit from API. A lot of people say this is a must-have. I'm not going to say it is, only because I didn't have it when I first got my fish. And somehow I was able to cycle my tanks well without it. It will help while you're cycling though, so you can test, how much ammonia you have, nitrate and nitrite. Because when a tank is fully cycled, you should have 0 ammonia, 0 nitrite, but you should have nitrates. Just, you don't want to monitor the nitrates. When nitrates get really high, that's when you need to do a water change. Because nitrates are just as bad for fish as nitrites and ammonia is at high levels. I do have aquarium salt. I got this when I first got the goldfish because one of the people at the fish store said it was like beneficial to them. I'm not gonna say it's not beneficial. It's just you shouldn't have it. It's like more of a medication. It's not something you need to put in their water all the time. They are freshwater fish, but it is good to have it on you in case you see like any type of like fin rot, especially with bettas. fin rot can be cured easily if you catch it on time with just like warm water and salt. Goldfish can take salt more than bettas can though. I know people say you should do like a 1% salt for bettas, but 3% for goldfish. I don't know how I think I'd have to look up the exact measurements for like a 5-gallon tank for that. Because this gives you just like a general use. So, that's my aquarium salt. You don't want to use any like table salt or anything that is different. It's toxic. You need aquarium salt. I use AquaSafe as my water conditioner. It neutralizes chemicals, and it takes out the chlorine, chloramine, and all that. This is a must. Fish can't live in regular tap water. They might live for a little bit, and I think it's one of those over time situations where you keep giving them tap water that's untreated and they will die. So this is one I use. It's a big bottle, lasts a long time. This is actually my unopened bottle. So I'd use this for the bettas as well. At first I bought the betta one from Nutrifin, but that one used so much more compared to this one. This one, the dosage is so small for the amount of water volume. I do have Easy Balance, which I only use in the goldfish's tank. It's supposed to reduce frequent water changes, which it doesn't stop me from doing water changes every week. I still do that. But it's supposed to kind of control like the nitrates. And that's why I only use it in the goldfish tank, because this is only a 10-gallon tank, and I really shouldn't have 2 goldfish in it. Maybe 1 fancy, and that's about it. Goldfish require a lot of space. So every time I do a water change, I put the Easy Balance in. That's why I've got the most plants in here too, to help combat the nitrates, because plants live off nitrates. Another way to stop high nitrates would be cleaning out your tank and your filter a lot, because just like that slime and everything that builds up, that will give you nitrates. So I do have this, and then I do have Cycle. I have this because of Snowy. I never thought this actually helped, but I think it does. I don't know, I never really had a problem cycling any of my tanks. And the goldfish tank went through a lot of changes and went through different filters where I like killed the cycle, and it still always bounced back, and I never hurt my fish. I think I was quite lucky. But I've always used this stuff to help. But the cycling with Snowy's tank was easy, because as I said in another video, I used filter media from Frankie's tank. But this stuff is good. Food wise, this is what I feed the bettas, the HBH Betta Bites, because at my local fish store they only have the Betta Bites from HBH, and they have food from the Nutrifin brand, and then of course they have the Tetra, like Betta Flakes. The bettas don't really like flakes, so I wouldn't want to feed them that. So I'm thinking this one's the best brand that's available to me. Just like the goldfish food, I don't have, like, for some reason they don't have the Hikari stuff, but they carry Hikari algae wafers. Because I have Hikari mini algae wafers for my snail, but this is the stuff I have for my goldfish. Nutrifin Max. It's sinking pellets. These ones sink, which is better for goldfish. And then I also have this I picked up at Walmart. They're freeze-dried bloodworms. Not the best. It's better to buy frozen bloodworms, because freeze drying is, I think it takes out some of the nutrients. But it's just a treat. The goldfish like it. The bettas love it. They all like it. And I just tap this in, because you're not really supposed to touch it. So that is really all my supplies. You don't really need much, as long as you're keeping up with the cleanings. These are all Nubia Nana plants. I have them in that one too. And I have moss balls, but I have a whole video about just the mammal ball. in all my tanks. Goldfish have 2, and each betta has 1. So if you have any comments or questions, you can ask, and I will answer them. For these bubbles, I guess I'll show you the bubble disc. There's a bubble disc in between all these rocks. It's the smallest one from Elite, and I have a pump in the back, which is just the Tetra 10 pump. I keep forgetting about that. So that is all my aquarium supplies. Isn't much, doesn't take much to handle fish. And as I said, you know, comment, like, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.